Hi there, this is Brett Lonsdale. I'm here with Sandy. How are you, Sandy?
I'm very good, thanks. Hi, Brett. How are you?
Very good, very good. Should we do a quick weather forecast before we jump into today's material?
Yeah, sure. For me, it's hot, hot, hot. That's what it is.
Because you're in Naples. Yeah,
Well, right, but we're also having a heat wave. It's especially hot.
and that's why I thought we'd start off on this subject because, yeah, so are we. So,
Ah,
yeah, it's going to be sunny all week. And
oh,
we
nice.
have Julio, one of our tech support team members,
Mhm.
coming in from the East Coast of the States. And I know how you rely on your air conditioning and so on. So on Friday, the day he arrives, it's going to be in the 90s
Oh
in the
dear.
UK, and he'll be staying somewhere without air conditioning. So it's going
And
to be a
not to
nice little
mention the
welcome.
office there also
Yeah,
I
correct.
know, gets really hot when it's hot.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go.
Have you warned him?
Nope. No, he can just see for himself that the fact that it rains all the time in England is just a myth and so on. So we
Well, I
have
remember the
glorious weather
first
here.
time, yeah, the first time I came, it was really nice weather, as I recall. And yeah, I thought everybody must be joking. They're trying to hide it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll take him to all the good restaurants, get rid of that myth,
Uh,
there's no dodgy food here in England and so
cool.
on. So we introduced the subject last time of
Mhm,
what we're doing inside of Teams, and we talked about all of our different apps and how they work in
mhm.
Teams. So that included things like Social Squared and Deliver Point and the Lightning Conductor and the Data Viewer and all their
Right.
purposes that they serve to Teams as well as
Mhm,
to SharePoint.
mhm,
And we touched on the fact that we've also got a new product coming out as well.
mhm.
So we're going to talk about that a bit today.
Uh-huh.
And what I thought was we could start off with really getting an understanding or getting an understanding of what the challenge is that it resolves. And
Sure.
it's intended to be an extremely simple application to use. It's something that you can uh, add to your Teams environment as a personal app, and it doesn't really require much configuration. There
Mhm.
is a little bit of configuration, but nothing like what you would have inside the Lightning Conductor or anything like that.
And it's
So
really your own personal configuration at that point, right?
exactly, this is
Mm.
down to what you want to see. Now let's just talk about what you might want to see and what the problem is, and we'll talk about how it works. So um, let's just say, for example, in most organizations I speak to, probably not every organization is the same, but a lot of them tend to have this challenge of Teams sprawl.
Yes.
So yeah, lots of people are generating Teams all the time. Partly that's because Teams was rolled out in a hurry in a lot of cases through the pandemic as people were working from home and so on. It was the only way to have meetings and communicate with the rest of your team members and so on. So lots of people were creating teams, and I even hear from some customers that teams are created by some users because they just want to share a file and think that the only way of doing it is by putting that file inside the Files tab. When they could have shared it from within inside of SharePoint or something,
Right.
but instead they're creating a team and they're adding people to that team and so on.
Right.
And so there's all these teams being created, and not all of them are being used that you may have been added to as a member. Um, and that therefore creates a lot of noise in sort of the activity pane and the chat pane and so on that you've got inside of Teams, where not all of it is going to be something that you're interested in all of the time. So imagine if there is something that you're interested in seeing, you've got to go digging and try to find that. And we kind of talked about that problem last time with the Lightning Conductor and how that can aggregate content, and that's
Right.
still useful to today,
Mhm.
where you can aggregate against Teams, you can bring in calendars and files and all that sort of stuff using the Lightning Conductor, but it requires quite a bit of configuration. You build views and you add conditional formatting and all of those sorts of things. So MyTeams is meant to be much easier. You simply add it, and the first time you add it, you can go in and configure where you want to see content from, i.e. what teams you want to see content from. So let's just say, for example, that I'm a member inside my organization of 150 different teams, but I really care about just a few of them.
Right.
R&D, there's sales, there's marketing, and there's maybe management. Yeah, take those 4 teams. I want to know what's going on inside those 4 teams. What I don't want to be doing is scrolling up and down that left-hand side, going into those teams, expanding the channels, and reading what's going on. I kind of want an aggregated view, but without all the other noise from all the other teams. So that's what we can do with MyTeams, is we can just simply open it. And at the moment, in Builder 1, it's giving us 3 different lots of content. So one of them is events, the other one is files, and the other one is app mentions. So under the events, if you think about in a team, you've got your channels, and you can add a channel event. That's hard to spot when somebody's done it, unless they've actually explicitly added you
Right.
to that meeting. So if it's just a channel meeting, it might be something that I want to know is happening. So I want to know that there's a marketing meeting happening. I want to know that there's a sales meeting happening, but maybe I'm not actually invited to it. You know, it's just useful to know that meeting took place, and we can find out what the minutes were from that meeting and that type of thing. So I'm not going to go and visit every single channel every single day. And well, first of all, yeah, the calendar is not even added to the Teams by default. So you'd have to go and add the channel calendar tab to see what events are taking place inside that channel. So I don't have time to do that. And I don't have time to go and visit every single one of them. So just being able to go into MyTeams and from the events tab saying, okay, turn on these teams because they're the ones I'm interested in. So I can turn on my 4 out of the 150. And then when I go into that events view from now on, I can select whether I want to see 3 months worth or a week's worth or 6 months worth of events. And it shows me them in a nicely formatted I guess card view, if you like. So you've got a card view, or you've also got a grid view where you can see it, and you've got the link there to join the meeting and see who's invited and that sort of thing. So it's just a great sort of aggregation for that content.
Cool.
And
Yeah, I
sorry,
especially
go
like,
ahead.
yeah, I especially like the part where you can see where you've been mentioned too, because
Yep.
then that gives you, yeah, a nice overview without having to go to the little bell and try and figure out, yeah, did people just like things, or was I actually mentioned
Yeah.
somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you are part of a conversation, if somebody's that mentioned you, then yeah, you get to see that as well. So that's the other tab that you've got. So you've got events, and then you've got the app mentions. So yeah, you can choose, yeah, out of these teams, tell me if I'm, well, not tell me if I'm app mentioned, but build the view of those conversations, and then I can go through and view those conversations if I want to. Yeah.
Cool.
And finally, we've got files as well. So you know, people are putting files inside of these, and I know sometimes I'm scrolling up and down trying to find the marketing team so I can get into the right channel in order to get things like our company logo and that sort of thing that's in there. So yeah, just being able to go to that files tab and seeing all the files aggregated across the teams that I'm interested in gives me the content that I want.
Yeah, because it's hard to remember, yeah, whether, and now, yeah, I mean, you can add files and channels too, so it's hard to remember where where on earth somebody might have uploaded a file.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, that is MyTeams, and
Awesome.
yeah, I'm looking forward to making it available to everybody. We're actually going to be showcasing it in our webinar this month,
Great.
which takes place
That's
immediately after Commsverse. So
great.
we'll be demonstrating it at Commsverse as well,
Hmm.
which is a Teams event.
Hmm.
And that's held on the 29th and 30th of June in
Hmm.
the UK at
Okay.
Mercedes World. So it's
Okay.
going to be an awesome venue. Lightning Tools is a gold sponsor, and
Awesome.
yeah, we've got lots of people going down to it.
Yeah. So how many people from Lightning Tools will be there?
Yeah, so I think 5 in total
Awesome. Great.
are heading down. So yeah, we'll all be there, which is going to be
Great.
fantastic. And we've got a session as well on
Hmm.
Social Squared. So
Okay.
we'll be demonstrating Social Squared and how that can be used for discussion boards inside of Teams, which means I get to do my car analogy. So I'm at Mercedes World, so we're going to
All
have
right.
a Mercedes discussion board. So of course, nothing ever goes wrong with Mercedes. So there's not going to be too many conversations about, you know, people's problems with it, they can just geek out and talk about how cool Mercedes are. So that can be against all the different models as forum groups and so on. So.
And I think we're giving away a Mercedes too, aren't we?
Well, yeah, not a real one, but some Mercedes Lego. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have our racing sim on our stand, which hasn't left our office in well since before COVID. So we used to take that with us to all these different events around the world, and we would
People keep asking about it.
yeah. So rather than the rally game, we've actually got the Formula One game, the F1 2021. And so you'll be able to set a time around Silverstone in the Mercedes Formula One car, and it's whoever's got the fastest time. Of course, gets on the stick board, if you know what that is, so the top gear board. And yeah, we're going to have a winner each day of the fastest lap time gets to win some Formula One Mercedes Lego.
Oh, awesome. That sounds really great.
Yeah, it will be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. Well,
Excellent.
I think that sounds good. And I'm looking really forward to releasing a new product. It's been a little while.
Yeah. I guess we've had list actions not too long ago, and document
I think
generator.
it's been longer than we think at this point, I think.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
All
Fantastic.
right, great. Well, I might not talk to you before that event or before the webinar. So if not, then have a great time there. I'm sorry I'll miss it, but
Yeah.
there will be a link in I imagine registration is still available,
Still
or are
open.
they full?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
all
it's
right,
still open.
yeah. Put a link to that in our video.
Yeah, if you use Teams, it'd be a great event to go to if you are in the UK, or even if you're on the European continent somewhere, it's not too difficult to get to. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Awesome. Great.
All right.
All right.
Thanks so much,
I'll
Sandy.
talk to you next time. Okay. Sure. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.